Hey guys, today I am sharing a look back at my Halloween decorating and home tour from last year as I work behind the scenes on my new Halloween content for this year. I went in a different direction for my Halloween video last year and I made it kind of a story. I was the narrator, I was also the main character who was a witch decorating her witch's cottage for the spooky season. It was so much fun to make and it was a lot of work, but it was totally worth it. I really enjoyed being creative for that video and I plan on doing something similar this year. So if you're new here and you haven't seen it and you like it, I hope you stick around and subscribe to see this year's content. If you're not new here, I hope you enjoy this trip down memory lane, maybe get inspiration again from the video, and I will have my new one out for you very soon. I really hope you enjoy and I hope to see you in the videos to come. Once upon a time, there was a witch named Jessica. She lived with her charming husband and her adorable dog Tilly. She loved old books, flowers, and karate chopping pillows with ruffles on the edges. But she also loved all things spooky, like skulls, Ghostface, and the headless horseman. Welcome to her humble abode. To prepare for spooky season, Jessica put on her best fall clothes and began decorating her home. She started in her entryway, the place that everyone would see first when they walked in. She put her favorite spooky season purses on display on the hooks before getting started with the table. Once Jessica got the creepy cloth down, she got to work on the gothic entryway table of her dreams, sticking to a mostly black palette with hints of fall and the headless horseman, which is one of her spooky season favorites. She put down this dusty fantasy book with a sword and beautiful fall leaves on top of one of her all-time favorites. She decided to put a skull and some of her other witchy things, like a sand timer and a potion. One of her favorite finds this spooky season was this adorable little ghost candle. She finished off by adding a lantern, a black pumpkin, and a haunted house to the bottom of the entryway table. Once satisfied with the entryway, Jessica moved on to the living room, changing out the pictures in her gallery wall. She also turned on her sconces for some mood lighting. She then got to work on perfectly placing her carefully selected spooky season pillows, of which her husband says she has too many, but she thinks that's a silly little notion. Just look at this jack-o'-lantern pillow, it lights up. And she definitely couldn't have passed up on the life-size skeleton pillow. Their goddaughter even named him Jack. Up next was the coffee table. She placed a cute little table runner down. Then she placed an apple-scented candle inside of her jack-o'-lantern bucket to chase away the smell of her potions. The witch Jessica tried a couple of different flower arrangements to see which one she liked better. She ended up going with the second one. Then she moved on to decorating the bookshelves. She was sure to include things that she loved, like family photos of all of them in their Halloween costumes over the years, old books, flowers, skulls, skeletons, and of course the headless horseman. Now it's important to remember that Jessica loves old books. This includes some ancient books. And she's also a witch, so it's very important to not speak Latin in front of the books. As a reminder, Jessica put a sign up so none of her guests would be mistaken and accidentally cast a spell that nobody wanted to be cast. The witch already had some nice decor up from fall, but she wanted to make it a bit more spooky, so she added some black florals, a black pumpkin, and a creepy golden black skull. After the nice garland was laid out, Jessica added some black florals to it to make it a touch more spooky. She also added another black pumpkin to this space and another creepy golden black skull. Jessica was attempting to put up her floating hats and candles again this year, but she was having difficulty because she was short. She gave up on that spot for a moment and called in her charming husband for some help. While Jessica was trying to figure out where she placed the hats and candles last year, her husband was trying to get signal by the window because her internet had gone out from the hurricane. He also didn't know that she was filming.
I'm filming.
While the charming husband continued to try to get signal, the witch figured she'd try again. But it didn't work out. Jessica still couldn't reach to hang the hat from the ceiling, so it was time for the charming husband to hop into action.
I can't reach. I need your help.
He jumped up to help the witch, his wife, and tried to hang it from the ceiling, and he dropped the hat. His wife instructed him to pick it up, and he tried again. This time, he succeeded. But then, finally, the hat stayed up. But the witch couldn't help but wonder why she was hanging the hats up in the first place. This is what muggles do. Why didn't she just cast a spell to make them float for real? Who knows, but she persisted anyway. The last thing that she had to do before she moved into the dining room was put together her old friend Ghost Malone, her DIY tomato cage ghost that her husband named. The witch began decorating her dining room as Ghost Malone watched from the corner. She added some creepy cloth to this shelf, and then she was going to display a bunch of her potion bottles, as well as a candy dispenser full of mini skulls and some spell books. Now that her potion bottles were on display and her haunted mansion picture was hanging up, Jessica was ready to get to work on the dining room table. After she got done with the centerpiece, she decided she was going to put her magic to use. At first, her spell wasn't working. So then, she tried again. And again. And it finally worked. Finally, she was adding Nicholas' ribcage as the final touch to this space. It was time for the witch to move on to decorating her kitchen. She started off by adding some creepy cloth to her fall market sign above the stove. She decided to leave her tea kettle and her pumpkin pie dish because they're just too cute to take off the stove, and they go with the theme anyway. She hung up her Pottery Barn dupe hand towels from Martha Stewart at Home Goods, and she moved on to the corner by the fridge where she added a fall picture, a zombie girl bust, and a pumpkin candle. No spooky kitchen is complete without some spooky fall mugs, so the witch added a ghost mug and 2 pumpkin mugs to her coffee station, as well as another towel that matches the one hanging from the stove, and a picture of a ghostie holding a beautiful bouquet of flowers. After her coffee station was done, she decided that she needed to put all of her Halloween mugs on display to use every single morning. This included jack-o'-lantern mugs, ghost mugs, a bat mug, and a pumpkin spice mug. Along with pillows, her husband also thought that she had too many mugs. But again, this is just a silly notion. How can you pass up all these ghosties and jack-o'-lanterns? On the bar area, the witch put some bleeding candles in a candelabra, but don't worry, it's not real blood. Or is it? To finish off this spooky season kitchen, Jessica put some pumpkin cookies into this pumpkin-shaped jar to go next to her ghosty cookies in her cake stand. Now that the witch was on the last room of the house to decorate for spooky season, she was kind of tired and over it, so she decided to look for a spell that would make the room decorate itself. She read the instructions, cast the spell, and bippity boppity boo. The room started decorating itself. Jessica was so pleased with how the room turned out, and she didn't have to lift a finger. But what's this? The laundry wasn't done. She thought that would get done when the room was decorated, but apparently the spell doesn't do dirty laundry. Well, maybe next year. Welcome back for my Halloween tour of 2024. We're getting started in the entryway and this has stayed the same. I've got my fall wreath here and then my fall and Halloween purses, and then we just have Tilly's stuff added in, just some real life right there. It looks a lot better without it there, but realistically we do hang it up for easy access right there. And then everything over here has mostly stayed the same. I did add in the candle snuffer. I forgot to put that in my original video, but I knew I wanted it there. It matches with the gold and black aesthetic. And we've got the florals over here because even though it's spooky season, I still need my flowers. And we've got this sand timer. What do you call this? Sand timer? That's what I'm going with. And we've got the potion bottle. This is still one of my favorite finds this spooky season. We've got the black books with the fall leaves, which I think is just such a cute touch. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is one of my favorite things for Halloween. We've got the black and gold skull with all of the parts labeled. I bought that a couple years ago and I still love it. It looks like it's starting to get dusty. It gets dusty so fast. I need another air purifier. And then we've got the phantom here. I forgot to turn on the lantern. Give me 1 second. There we go. We've got the lantern turned on, which it's so nice at night to have these things going because I've got the candles down here, my black pumpkin, and something else I did not turn on is this haunted house. The thing about the haunted house is it's getting stuck to the paint. Anyways, about this haunted house, it lights up different colors and everything else is just a warm light, but it's not that noticeable and it's kind of cool to have the different colors on there. So that is the entryway and I'm super happy with how it turned out this year, especially with it being black instead of white this year. I just love it so much more. And then here's what it looks like with the lights off. Just a spooky, cozy little space. Something I also added into the entryway is this picture. I had this print from last year and because I changed out the gallery wall, I decided I wanted to use this still and I put it up here. It's a little bit crooked, but I love it. It's just creepy and cute. Moving into the living room, I'm pretty sure everything in here is exactly the same. We've got Jack sitting here and then my little ghosty pillow and the pumpkin, this nice cream and orange colored blanket. We've got last year's Target Halloween pillow. I wasn't a huge fan of the pillows this year, so I'm really happy I got that one last year. And then the light up, I think it's a dupe for Pottery Barn, but that one's from Kirkland's. And the Amazon ruffled pillow covers. I already had the pillow inserts, so that is nice so I don't have to store another pillow. And then just some more Halloween pillows and blankets on the couch. Well, these aren't necessarily Halloween blankets, but I think they work really well with Halloween, even though they're fall blankets. I absolutely love the Kirkland's Ghost. I think it's so cute. The shape is so different. And then this pillow was from Target last year, and I still love it. It goes so well with my Halloween decor. I've literally had these like burnt orange pillow covers I think maybe since my first year decorating for fall or Halloween. I can't remember, but they're from so long ago from Amazon, and I still use them every year. Over there, we just have a pumpkin and a coaster for when we have a drink right here and we don't want to reach over to the coffee table. For the gallery wall, I of course had to add in the headless horseman because, like I said, that is one of my favorite things for Halloween right now and last year. And then just some spooky pictures. This I reused from last year. This one is new, and I just think it's so cute how the person's face is cut off and you see the jack-o'-lantern instead. And we've got some bats. We've got a cute ghosty reading a book, and he's got some fall leaves and pumpkins around him. I just realized that I didn't have that turned on. So got that turned on. But then we've also got this guy over here that matches the girl picture, and I had that up already. I had this picture of Tilly already, and over there I have the horse and our wedding photo that was already up, so I just changed out the other ones. And then of course up here we've got the floating hats and candles that I did last year, and I carried them over to this year. I'm thinking maybe next year I'll do floating jack-o'-lanterns instead of hats. They have that in Hogwarts, I think in the dining hall, and I've seen some people do that, and I really like the look, and you can put tea lights, remote controlled tea lights in them. So I think maybe to switch it up next year I'll do that, and then maybe put these only in the bedroom. But just to switch it up, I still love this look, but I want to try something new just because I like changing it up. And then we've got the coffee table here, the fall florals in the black vase, just to make it a little more Halloween, having that black vase, and then the black spider web table runner, the wand to turn on the candles, and my jack-o'-lantern that has my apple candle inside. I love putting a candle in this little jack-o'-lantern bucket every year. This is such a good purchase from a year, maybe 2 years ago, but I love bringing it out every year. And then on the rug, we've got Tilly as a little rug ornament, and her bed is over here, but instead of laying on the bed, this is where she wants to lay. Can you say hi, Tilly? Oh, yep. She's saying hi. Then over on this wall, we've got the bookshelves. So I have the light up headless horseman bust right here, and pictures of us in our Halloween costumes in previous years. So we're Katniss and Peeta. Tilly was a Beanie Baby, and then we're Ariel and Prince Eric. And I've got this adorable Target pumpkin from last year. I wish I had more of those because that's one of my favorite pumpkins. I love this shelf so much, using the skull as a bookend and then the flowers, and then we've got this skeleton trying to get out of the cauldron, and these books are just so perfect for fall and Halloween. I just think having the dragons is so nice because I was kind of decorating as a witch's cottage, so I feel like witches would know about dragons, maybe be around dragons. And then that this is Halloween book, and these just look old because witches use old books. Down here I just added a brown and black pumpkin and then switched out my record to have a black background so it looked a little more spooky. Over here we've got Tilly's laser, and then I mixed a fall garland and a black floral garland together just to make it a little more spooky. We've got the skull and another black pumpkin in there, and I just think it looks so nice with the little touches of spooky, not too overboard. What am I saying? I literally have Halloween everywhere, so my whole apartment is overload. But up here, I left my fall pictures and then just added a few spooky touches. So I've got my fall vase, but added the black florals, the black pumpkin, and another one of those gold and black skulls. For these shelves over here, I have more of our Halloween costumes. So this year, Ethan and I were Pam and Jim from The Office in their Halloween costumes. Pam was a black cat and Jim was a 3-hole punch. Jim doesn't like Halloween, which is perfect because Ethan is not a fan of Halloween. He just does this for me. And then we are obviously Maverick and Goose, and Tilly was also a pilot. It kind of cut her off because of the size of the photo, but it was so cute. She actually kept those glasses on for a second. She doesn't like to have the glasses on, but I got her to stay for a second. I think I bribed her with treats. Down here, we've got some pretty fall florals in another black vase. That's my Minka pot in the size small, and another headless horseman. This was from Michael's last year, and I'm so glad I got it. They did not bring it back, I don't believe, and I just love how it's got the gold and copper rubbed on there, but it's mostly black, and it looks really nice. I think this looks a lot more expensive than the ones that you can find at Home Goods. And then I just have a dark picture in the back. It kind of looks like he's coming out of the forest. And then my fall colored books. Down here, another favorite shelf because it's got such cute books. I have this on a black stand. This is actually for pictures, but I put the book on there. And then some more of my old books. And then these are newer books, obviously. I turned this one around because this is very fall looking. Another dragon. And then Twilight because Twilight is just fall. You have to have Twilight in the fall time. Sorry, my camera's getting all crazy. And then I made this on Canva. It says, please don't speak Latin in front of the books. And then this is from Home Goods, perfect frame for Halloween. And honestly, I was thinking about using it after Halloween because it's so pretty and it's just black and plain. So this is my other shelf of books, which I thought looked really witchy, but also very chic, I guess. I really love Halloween, but keeping it spooky and mixing it in with my regular decor so it looks kind of high end. And I also love using more muted oranges and a lot of black and gold instead of the bright orange of Halloween. And then of course we have my DIY Gus the Ghost, my Eek pillow, and I added this pillow in just because I was putting my fall stuff away and didn't have anywhere to put it. So I was like, I'll just place it here. What's another pumpkin in with all the other pumpkins? In this hallway, we've got Ghost Malone, and he is sporting his witch attire this year. Last year I put a hat on him, but I didn't put my cinnamon broom with him. So this year I took my pumpkin spice broom and put it like it's in his little ghost hand. So he is in his costume and all ready to go. Moving into the dining room, we've got my Eat, Drink, and Be Scary sign, and I have my potion bottles on this shelf. I feel like having the potion bottles in the kitchen or dining room is a good idea because where else are you going to be making and using your potions? And then I've got my potion books here and some small skulls in a candy dispenser because again, I just feel like you could use that easily for your potions. Just turn it and have the skulls come out and drop them into your cauldron as you're making your potions. And then obviously we have to have the creepy cloth just to have the overall creepy witchy aesthetic. Over here, I did my black bats on this wall again to fill it in more because this is kind of a large wall. This picture could be bigger and I just feel like it fills it out more. And I like how I put the bats this year more than last year. They're kind of going like this and flying away. I think maybe I started up higher last year. I didn't have them curve as much. Looking back at the pictures, I just like this year's better. I'm sure I'll probably do this again next year just because I like it so much. And I still have the same haunted house print from Etsy that I used last year. Just reused it again this year because it is perfectly good and it's still a gorgeous picture. Nicholas Ribcage decided to come by for dinner with us, so he's been sitting here for a while, as you can tell. I love having him sit here. I just think it's a fun addition to walk by and see him just chilling here waiting for some food. And then we've got the cute little ghosty picture right here and some pumpkins and salt and pepper shakers. I think this is adorable, having the black and the white scalloped plates with the gold on the edge to tie in the gold from everywhere else and from Nicholas Ribcage, and then my creepy addition on top. It's the perfect balance of cute and creepy again. I have our wedding photos here still. I have had those there for a while. I did recently paint the frames black and they match our home a lot more now with the updates I've done with our decor. So I think it looks a lot better with the black frames. Over here, we've still got the pumpkin pie dish. We've got the hearth and hand teapot with the copper details. And this could be kept out for Christmas as well and all year round in general. I love this piece so much. It's gorgeous. We've got the copper to match the teapot, the copper picture from Kirkland's. They don't sell this anymore, but Hobby Lobby has a larger one in the same exact color and it's very similar. And then I just added creepy cloth to make it more Halloween. And the Martha Stewart hand towel, which is another Pottery Barn dupe. I'm telling you guys, if you like Pottery Barn, go to Home Goods and look for all the dupes. Just look at the Pottery Barn line before you go, and then you'll find a whole bunch of stuff at Home Goods that is very similar for a fraction of the cost. I absolutely adore this towel. It looks so much like the Pottery Barn one that I loved, but I don't want to spend $30-$40 on a towel because they get stained, they get messed up, and what's the point in spending that much? Even if you're not really using them, food just kind of flies around. Over here, we've got some fall Halloween pictures on the Google Hub, and then I've got my Halloween cooking utensils. We've got the bat whipping up something wicked, You've Been Booed, and my ghost spatula, and then my zombie bust over here, one of my favorites, and just a black and white hearth and hand picture from last year's fall line, and a pumpkin shaped candle. And I think it's like vanilla pumpkin scented. Over here, we've got the Halloween mugs. I have two of the jack-o'-lantern ones, which look a lot like Pottery Barn ones, but these were from the dollar spot last year. That one was from Target last year. Home Goods or TJ Maxx, World Market. And then these are old Target ones, and this is a new Target one. Target has some really cute holiday mugs, so make sure you're looking at them. They're only $5 each, which is even better. Up here, I still have my pumpkin spice latte recipe, and then I moved some of my fall mugs here on display. That's a hearth and hand one. It's not a fall mug, but it still looks really good with the others. And then these are from Joann's, some of my favorite fall mugs I've ever found. On my little coffee station, I have another ghosty mug and then pumpkin shaped mugs, another one of these towels, which it looks so cute here and matches the cream and orange colors. And then we've got a cute little ghosty holding flowers, again cute and spooky at the same time. A touch of gold to tie that in over here, and my pumpkin canisters that I have collected from Target, the dollar spot at Target, and I actually found one of these at Goodwill, so make sure you check your thrift stores for stuff for Halloween and Christmas. I'm so happy I brought out this tray again. I used to have it behind me on the other counter where the cookbooks and everything are, and I decided to use it for my coffee station for the fall, and I'm carrying it over, and I just think it looks so much better than the one serving board I used. It just makes it feel like an actual coffee station now that I have more things. I've got the pumpkin pie spice, I've got some mugs, and I don't know, it just feels like a true coffee station to me now. And then obviously I have my Mrs. Meyer's fall scents for the hand soap, dish soap, and the multi-service spray. We've got the Hearth and Hand dish rack, which I keep out year round, but it especially looks good for fall and Halloween. On this counter over here, I've got a serving board with another pumpkin canister and some candy in there. I have a chocolate bourbon walnut pie in here from Publix. It's actually really good. I've never had it before, but it's good. It's not my favorite. Pumpkin pie is still my favorite, but it is good. Then we've got the bleeding candles and the skull candelabra. Let me see if I turn this light on. Is it easier to see? Kinda. So we've got the skull candelabra, and it has a lot of detail in it. This is from At Home. And it's just got so much detail for $20. And then these bleeding candles have a lot of red coming down, so I decided to put my bleeding candles here this year because I knew that they were messy. I had bleeding candles on the dining room table last year and it got all over my velvet table runner and it was really annoying to get out. So this year I put it on the surface that was easy to clean. And then over here we've just got a skull added into this tray with the lamp and Tilly's picture in the flower frame. And this is all the same over here. This is not going to get changed anytime soon. And this is one of the cutest pieces of art that we have. Now for the bedroom, it is the same. I'm super happy with how this space turned out. We've got the pumpkin headed guy down here, the headless horseman, black cat, and then super simple up here, I just have this spooky typewriter and my glasses. And then one of my favorite additions this year are the hanging hats and candles right here. It is so cozy to put the candles on at night. So when we go from the living room to our bedroom, then I can carry that cozy ambiance into our bedroom. I moved this picture in here. It used to be on the shelves in the living room, but I wasn't using it out there, so I moved it in here because the green one that I had did not match the rest of the Halloween decor. So I put that one because it does match really nicely and it works with the spooky stuff because it's got the dark colors in there. I thought it'd be a nice addition, and the hats and candles fill in the space up there really nicely with that picture. One of my favorite purchases from this year are these pillow covers. Look at how cute those little ghosties are. That was an amazing Amazon find and it goes so well with my blanket from Home Goods. I got this last year, but they sell it again this year. And it has the tassels that kind of look like ghosts as well. Love having this duvet cover. We have Scary Styles over here. He is ready for bed. I put the blanket on him to make him look all cozy and like he wants to go to sleep. I just think it's a fun addition to him. And then it's funny because the jack-o'-lantern heads are all over it, and then he's got a jack-o'-lantern head. I love this little floral arrangement with the black leaves and then the fall leaves in there. It's just a nice little mix of fall and Halloween. And my spooky little black owl right there. These are only $5 at Target. I believe they sell them again this year. Then we've got the Studio McGee brown orangey boxes and the pumpkin spice latte candle in my Studio McGee candle holder or whatever you want to call it. I love this thing. It is so cute. And I love that it's got the browns in there with the warm gray because I don't decorate with gray, so it really makes that tie in with the rest of my decor. And then of course Tilly's got her little spooky dog down there for her bed. Can't leave Tilly out with the decor. We've got the light changing skull crystal ball thing and the candles, which I don't light often. I really just light them for the videos. But it is a nice cozy atmosphere when you have candles lit. I don't like the wax stripping and having to blow them out. I really need to invest in some battery operated taper candles. That is something I would really like to do. I had a lot of fun filming this area for my decorating video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed that whole video, honestly, but I had the idea last minute for making it look like I used a spell to decorate this room, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Tilly, you want to play with your laser? Huh? You want to play with your laser? Go get it. Go get it. Where is it? Get it.